Here's the tutorial for the hand embroidered felt snowflake ornament. Links for supplies are below. If you shop through them, I may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. Thank you for supporting my channel. The supplies you'll need your stick and stitch patterns, you'll need your free download printable templates, you will need your felt, you will need needles. I'm using DMC size 24 chenille tapestry here. You will need a hoop. I like the 3-inch. And you will need cotton cord for your hanger. You're going to need a writing utensil. I like to use the Pilot Friction Heat Erasable pens. And then you're going to need a pair of scissors. Take your template, choose which shape you want to cut out. I'm going to go with the bird shape here. Then you're going to lay your template on your felt, take out your pen, and trace that shape. Once you have it traced, go ahead and remove your template, and then grab your patterns and choose a snowflake and cut out your pattern. Once you have that cut out, peel the backing off of your stick and stitch patch, and then you can place that down on top of your bird pattern where you'd like it. You can put this in an embroidery hoop to stitch. This is a 3-inch. This might not be necessary if your felt is thick and stable enough. I just prefer a hoop. I feel like it makes my stitches a little more even, and it also helps me film these tutorials for you. I'm going to use 2 types of stitches on this pattern, and I wanted to show those to you before we actually got started. The first one is the French knot. So you come up through your fabric or the pattern where you want your knot to go, and then you wrap your needle 2 times, and then you go down right next to where you came up. Make sure you're holding tension on that working thread, and then pull your thread through. And then the other knot you could use is the colonial. I find that people either like one or the other. It must have something to do with how our brains work. So come up through your fabric where you want the knot to go, and then you're going to make a backwards C with your thread. And then once you make your backwards C, you're going to take your needle and go up through the top of that backwards C. Then you're going to wrap your needle and go down right next to where you came up, but you're going to hold tension on that working thread before you pull your thread through. See, I'm holding tension there, and now I can go ahead and pull my thread all the way through. And that is the colonial knot. The next stitch I will use throughout this pattern is the back stitch. It's just a simple come up through your fabric and then go back down on your pattern lines. And then you're going to come up a stitch length away on your pattern, and then you're kind of moving backwards. And you'll just keep repeating that throughout your pattern. Let's jump to the pattern so I can show you how. If you don't like knots, don't put knots on your pattern. Nobody will know. Just do the back stitch. Keep it simple if that's what you prefer. I am a colonial knot gal, as you will see here as I stitch this. I'm using 4 strands of DMC cotton embroidery floss. If you need help threading your needle, I have some tutorials on my channel to help you with that. I'm going to stitch this whole row just to show you the rhythm, and then I will fast forward the rest of my stitching so you can see the direction I take the thread. If you need help tying off and changing thread, I also have beginner tutorials for that on my channel. The stitches you use will depend on the snowflake pattern that you're stitching. They're all a little bit different, but most of them only really need 3 types of stitches. Oh, I got a knot. Thankfully, that was an easy one to pull out. The back stitching on this pattern, I'm only going to break up one section that's a little bit longer, and it's this section right here. Other than that, I am just doing a straight stitch the actual length of those sections where they meet up. I'm going to fast forward this just a little bit so I can show you what I like to do in the center in case you wanted to do it too. When I continue this row all the way down, before I get to the center, I am not going to stitch all the way to it. See how I come up a little bit before the center? And then when I continue this row down, I come up Well, I'm going to go down and see how I'm leaving that little gap. That will leave room for a decorative knot in the center. It's optional, you don't have to do that. I just like the way that it looks. So let's finish this row, and then I will truly fast forward all the way through the rest of these so you can see the order in which I like to stitch this pattern. If you've been stitching a while, you will notice that these snowflake patterns take about 30 minutes, which isn't too bad for handmade gifts. That's not counting the blanket stitching we do to piece the ornament together, but just the top snowflake patterned portion takes about 30 minutes. I'll slow down this knot stitch just so you can see that one more time. And then I'll fast forward this again so you can see the order in which I like to stitch this pattern. And you'll notice at the end, we will put the knot in. Tell me in the comments if you like the colonial knot or the French knot. I would love to know. Fascinates me. Now that you have everything stitched up, it is time to cut out your shape and dissolve that stick and stitch paper away. I'm going to use a bowl here just to show you, and you can see the paper dissolve. Use your sink, run it under warm water, and let that paper melt away. Once you have that paper dissolved away, go ahead and let your piece air dry. Sometimes I like to stick it on a heater vent. And now, while that's drying, you can take your template again and another piece of felt and go ahead and trace your second template out. This will be the backing of your ornament. Once you have that traced, go ahead and cut that out also. And then you'll have your two pieces that are ready to be stitched together. Now it's time for the blanket stitch. I am going to pull 5 skein lengths of thread. I know that seems like a lot, but let me show you why. Also, this is my favorite holiday color for red, 498. Okay, let's nip that. The first thing we're going to do is separate your threads. So there's 6 strands there. You need 2 of those strands. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And then once you have your 2 strands pulled out of the 6, you need to piece them together. Go ahead and match them up together. Once you have them matched up together, you are going to go to the tail end of the threads you just pulled, and you're going to match them up. So now I've got the top end and the tail end together, and then that's going to leave you a loop. So go ahead and thread your needle. Now it looks like you have 4 strands. Thread your needle. I'm just going to use my fingers. You can use a needle threader if that's easier for you. And then see, you should have a loop at the end. And then here's another trick. You can do this or not do this, it's optional. I like to put 2 lines on my thumb. If you use the heat erasable pen, it does end up disappearing eventually because your body puts off heat. And then see, this helps you line up your blanket stitch. It's kind of a guide. So when you are ready to start, I like to start at the bottom of the bird and work my way around, and then I'll leave a gap to put stuffing in. So I'm going to flip this upside down. I'm going to pick up my needle. I'm just going to gauge how far I want my blanket stitch to come down off of the edge. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to come in through the back through both pieces of felt. And I'm going to pull that through, but not all the way through. I'm going to leave a loop out. And then I'm going to catch that loop with my needle and then pull the thread. And now that's locked into place. And then I'm going to use the guide on my thumb to start the next stitch. So we're going to go through the felt, both pieces, and then you're going to wrap your needle with that thread and then pull your needle all the way through and then pull it tight. And then I'm going to move my thumb guide down again, line up my needle, go through both pieces of felt, and then wrap the needle with that thread and pull it through. You're just going to keep doing that and working your way around this whole shape. I'm going to speed this up a little bit just so I can show you how you end your thread and then start a new one. So I'm at the end here. I'm going to kind of flip this over to the back. There's your last stitch. Flip this over to the back and then take your needle and go underneath that back stitch, that last back stitch. Don't pull it all the way through, leave a loop and then catch that loop and it makes a knot. And then I'm going to tuck that thread. You can double knot it if you feel more secure. I want it less bulky, so I'm just going to do a single knot. Take your thread, go in between, and then I pull mine out the back. And then at the very end of the project, I nip all those tails off. But that's what I do. And then let me show you how to start a new thread. You'll need to rethread your needle, like I showed you earlier with your loop. And now you're going to go into that same back thread where you stopped. You're going to start there also. Let me get this camera focused. There we go. So don't go all the way through, leave a loop, and then you're going to catch that loop and then pull it through. And now you're ready to start your blanket stitch again. Just line up your guide and keep going. I am going to show you what to do when you get to the beak. It is a little bit different. If you were using a blanket stitch on a blanket, you would in most instances have a corner that you would need to work around. So basically the beak acts like a corner. So I will show you what to do when you get to that place. So I tried to end toward the center of the beak as close as I could make it. And instead of starting a new stitch, I'm going to go back into the original of the last stitch, and then I'm going to go around my needle. Sorry, it's blurry. And then instead of starting a new stitch again with my guide, I'm going to go back into that center stitch one more time. And that will take this blanket stitch around that beak or that corner. And now since I'm around that corner, I can use my guide and start the next stitch. I am playing with fire. I do not have a lot of thread left, but I really want to finish this stitch and show you. Okay, but that's how you would go around the beak and then continue until you get to the part where the hanger is. So I'll show you how to add the hanger. Take your cotton cord. This is about 13 inches. And I'm just going to tie a knot quickly with both ends. Once you have a knot tied, you can take your cord and slip that in between both pieces of your felt. I am going to do one more stitch before I stitch in the cord. I'm just going to butt that cotton cord right up next to it. And when I'm using my guide, I'm going to go around that cotton cord. I'm going to try to avoid going through it and do the next stitch. Wrap my thread. I'm doing that thing again where I'm playing with fire and I have just a little bit of thread left to tie it off. And I'm going to do one stitch in between the cord. So you'll see here, I'll use my guide again, go through both pieces of felt, wrap my needle, and now I'm going to butt that cotton cord up next to the next stitch and I will go around that. If I was wise, I would have started a new thread a couple stitches before I got to this cotton cord. As you can see here, I'm struggling just a little bit to have enough thread to complete these blanket stitches. You might have to play with the tops of those stitches just a little bit and kind of move them around to make them look orderly and nice. Once you have everything where you like it, you can continue your blanket stitch around the bird until you get to the place where we need to add the polyfill. So I like to stop right there, and then you can open up the felt and add in your stuffing. I like to start with the tail first, and I have a metal chopstick. You can use whatever small pointy object you have to push the stuffing up in there. You can leave more stitching out if you want it to be a little bit easier to get stuffing into that hard part. And then once it's stuffed, you can go ahead and finish your blanket stitching and just tie it off the same way I taught you how to stop your stitch. I hope you had fun stitching this. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more tutorials like this one, don't forget to subscribe. All the tools and patterns for this project are linked below.